Hello, welcome back to the Wizard Den. Today I'm going to be speaking on essentially like what you should do. Should you tell the people in your life that you're into the occult? What you do? Should you inform them? I think personally you should. There's a lot of ups and downs with it, so I'm going to be talking about all of that. Like for instance, one of the downs to doing this is you're gonna have haters, okay? And because they're, say, your family or somebody close to you, they won't mean it in a bad light, but it's very negative, very condescending, and they don't mean it that way, but it just comes out that way, right? Now, for me, for instance, my sisters know, and they accept it. They're Christian, but they accept me for what I do. And at first, I was like, I didn't know if you're going to accept me for this, so I didn't want to tell you. And they were like, why would I not accept you? You're my brother. I was like, well, because, our religious views are extremely different. Like, we're, opposites, almost. And I don't believe in the same thing you do, and it's kind of extremely different. And she was like, well, that doesn't matter, you're still my brother, and it doesn't change how I view you, yada yada. But then I have my mother, who I told her I'm trying to start a business, I'm selling crystals and tarot cards, and then she hits me up in return saying, you're not a psychic. I'm like, okay. And, she sent me, like, laugh emojis. You're no psychic. And I'm like, I don't know what that has to do with me starting a business. But, it's just very negative. You'll deal with negative shit from people, but they don't mean it in a negative way. Like, my mom didn't mean anything negative about it. She was just trying to say, I know you, essentially. And that, I guess she has, that you have to accept the fact that the world has certain viewpoints on the situation. Like, my mom, I guess, assumes that if you were born with abilities, then you have them. If you weren't born hearing things and seeing things, then you can't grow into it. And she doesn't understand that you can grow these abilities. So for her, it's like, I knew you growing up. I was around you. I took you to school. I was at the house with you. I raised you. So I know that, you were this good little Christian boy, and you weren't into none of this, and you never talked about hearing spirits or seeing spirits. So in her eyes, she sees it as this kind of facade, when in reality, it's not. I got into something at a later day. When I was like 20, 22, 23 maybe. I don't know. I was in my 20s, early 20s. And I got into the occult. And then I began to develop abilities. So for her, she doesn't understand that. She's not into the occult. She doesn't understand that you can evoke spirits, that you can invoke spirits, that you can talk to spirits, angels and demons. She doesn't understand that shit. She probably thinks that, you can't talk to angels, that it's some heavenly construct and you can't speak with them. She doesn't understand astral projection, astral realm, and she don't understand none of these topics, none of it. She just has her point of view. And, for her, she has this negative outlook on me, as if I'm making something up now. But for me, it is better to be honest than hold this weight on my chest, okay? Because I don't want to sit here and hold this secret, because holding secrets, it's a weight on your chest. You don't want to do it. even with your loved ones. I don't think it's good to do that with them. For example, like your fiance or your wife, your girlfriend or boyfriend, I think they need to know the truth. Mine knows the truth. Mine has accepted it. And even she now has converted from Christianity to, like, working with angels and demons. She's not right-hand path or left-hand path. She's both. But that has to do with me because I'm balanced. I'm very balanced. I work with everything. And so she's going to kind of base her workings off of what I do because I am her significant other or other half, right? Now, the way I came out to her was very different than the way I came out to everybody else because her opinion mattered to me compared to like a family member, right? Like a significant other isn't forced to be around you for nothing. They can just up and leave if they want to and uproot and go somewhere else. Your family doesn't have that luxury. Your family is stuck to you no matter what. So I just came out to my family. I just came out when I wanted to. I just came out about it. Now, my fiance, I came out over time. Also, it's kind of, I didn't do it on purpose, really, because I was learning about the occult as we were dating. Me and my fiance, we've been together for like a decade. Basically the same amount of time that I've been into the occult. So as I learned things, I taught her things. And as I grew in the occult, she would get lectures of philosophy and this and that from me. And honestly, I think that's the best way to do it, to ease somebody into it. Because then, not only are they going to grow accepting, but they're also going to begin to be understanding as well. Because as you're growing, they are growing. As you are starting to understand more, they are starting to understand more. And then they'll understand why you're doing this. Because for them, they don't understand why the fuck you're doing this. And you know, I know you might not care, but you do. You might not know you care, but you do. Because these people are important to you. They are your connections in this physical realm. In the physical realm, they are your people, right? They're your group. So I think that you should tell everybody the truth. Everybody that matters. Now, the people you work with, it's none of their fucking business, okay? This leads me to discuss something else. You can wear jewelry, like with a pentagram on it or whatever, right? Because it's symbolic and it holds power. I get why you would do that. It's energy, yada, yada, yada. It evokes a certain energy, which is why I wear certain things. I have a comedic ring on right now. As you see, you can barely see it. But, and I got crystals on. But, opalite. But, overall, you don't want to be extremely out there. You want to blend in. Part of being a magician is blending in. So, wearing all these occult shirts with the Goetia all over it, a sigil all over it, it's too much. You know what I mean? You're not being secretive the way you should be. We're supposed to be hidden. We're supposed to be secretive. The word occult means hidden, okay? We're supposed to be very behind the scenes, okay? We're not supposed to be out in the open and charading around. But that's the ego speaking, usually. It's usually your ego that wants you to be really blatant about it and, you know, showboat to the world what you do. Whether it's you want to make people afraid of you, respect you, be nicer to you because they're afraid that you might curse them, whatever it is. You know, it's still the ego. And you want to avoid that. You want to avoid giving the ego any kind of power over you. I know it feels good to sit there and put a pentagram, draw it on your hand, and, you know, plain sight of everybody. If you're gonna draw on yourself, dude, do it like on you somewhere. Don't just make it for the whole world to see. You have the wrong motive in mind. You're not doing it for energetical properties. You're doing it for your ego and to get a certain kick out of it. If you're gonna wear rings, do it for the right reason. I don't have any other rings on, but I usually wear 1, maybe 2 rings, and I'll wear like my pentagram ring, and I'll wear my Kemetic ring with the ink on it, and that's for specific reasons. And you can barely tell what it has on it because of how small it is. You don't want to be showboaty with your occult stuff. You don't want to buy shirts that have certain stuff. When you give public praise, you're not going around in public. You're talking amongst your group and getting other like-minded people to open their mind to working with such and such. It doesn't help the spirit to create more fear of the spirit. It only helps the spirit to gain an attention for the spirit, a open-mindedness towards the spirit. So if you for some reason have a sigil on your shirt and it's creating somehow an open-mindedness towards the spirit, absolutely, public praise. But if you're doing it and it's just freaking people out and making them sketched out, it's not doing you any favors. It's not doing the spirit any favors, okay? It's doing the opposite. But to continue with what I was talking about, my fiance's family knows what I do. I am blatantly open about it. They are what is the word I'm looking for? They are a permanent part of my life. Okay, so they know everything I do. They know that I have a ritual circle in my second room, where we house all our crystals and stuff. They know that there's a ritual circle on the ground. They know that I use incense. They see my sigils. They know I have this stuff, and they know I do it. They've seen my books. When I'm reading them, they've read the titles on it. They know what I'm doing, and they accept it. They have a couple rules about it because I live with them. They don't want me to cross a couple boundaries, and I try to respect that. But it's a mutual respect. They know that I have my practice. I have my quote-unquote religion, even though it's not a religion at all. But they know that it's mine. It's my belief system. But like I said, to those that are closest to you, be honest. And if they hate you for it, then, you know, you're doing yourself a favor. You know, you're weeding out people. They should be able to accept you if they love you. But that's really all I have to say about that. I believe honesty is the best thing. Holding on to secrets, lying, these kind of things only weigh you down and destroy you. And it hurts your energetic system too. Your energy body. It starts to weaken that. It weakens your connection to the astral realm. It weakens a lot to sit there and be a liar, hateful person, nasty person, any of that. But alright, that's all for today. Peace.